Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investing. My name is Jose. I'm the founder of the company and brand here at Master Investor. Ensure to subscribe and turn on the notifications if you're new to our community. Click the link somewhere on the description of this extraordinary video. Today we're going to be speaking about how we can become wealthier by simply not giving in. And I'm going to speak exactly what I mean on that, because a lot of people, as we know, they give in right as they're about to succeed. So building wealth is not something that is easy or doesn't come with ups and downs. I believe life can be a roller coaster. It doesn't mean it has to be always a negative roller coaster. It can be a positive downturn where we actually learn. And I always encourage our community, because we're building true leaders here at Master Investor. If you read the mission of our channel and our company, you will understand that our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education made simple with lucrative opportunities to build passive income and true wealth. And we have come to realization that if a person does not have financial education in them, they are traders, they're not real investors, they're passive investors, and they don't have any way to expand, because they basically make money by working hard for it, by exchanging time for money. Now, there's nothing wrong with working hard if you have a job that you love and that's one of your passions, okay? We need great employees everywhere. So we're talking about people that do not like their job and they're still doing it. We need to find an exit strategy quickly. And it's not about complaining. I always say, regardless of where we are, we need to turn everything into gold. So if you're at a job that you don't like and you're watching this video, make sure you're the best at your position. Even though you may be leaving next week, always have that attitude, because it's going to carry that into our businesses and any ventures that we'll ever do. And we will also pull in true leaders, because there's something about us. When we have self-development, we have gone through the process of becoming wealthy, we're taking action, we have companies, entrepreneurs that are having success, and people that are taking action, wealthy entrepreneurs, right? But it starts with the mindset first. And what I mean it starts with the mindset is that we need to unlearn the old, what we've been taught about money. And we need to make sure that we replace it with the new. That's why we created the 10 new rules of money. We have how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, and how to invest in crypto to build wealth. These are digital courses, our ebooks first and foremost, and then we have turned them into digital courses that are vivid on our website. We have a platform, you have access to a back office where you can download the ebook, and I have access to other assets that we're adding into that digital course. The digital course is called like the ebook because it's all about the ebook's topic. Whatever subject we're going to be talking about, whatever asset is in there is going to relate to that, to expand more on the subject. And we will be bringing exclusive interviews with celebrities, wealthy entrepreneurs, financial investors, and side investors, a master investor, someone that's having success in that field, whatever book we're talking about. However, you can also have the ability to get them on Amazon if you like to read them on Kindle, but you just won't have the other assets that come with the digital course. And the great thing about getting it from our website, by the way, is that whatever price we get it at whatever time, if you get it right now, let's say, in a year from now, that digital course is going to be worth a lot more because of the assets that we're adding constantly in them to make it more valuable. We're always going to have access to any other asset that we add in there at no additional cost. So go get in right now, because it's a fraction of the price that we will pay in the future. And also we get into something that is becoming so valuable. It's literally priceless. As it is right now, it's priceless. You're going to thank me later. Get inside by Inner Circle. All of our education is to improve the financial IQ, and it starts right here. We need to replace the old views about money, the core values. We need to challenge our context. There are two types of mindset when it comes to money: the wealthy mindset and the poor mindset. And it starts with replacing the context, because if the individual does not have the proper mindset, then it doesn't matter what type of information he could see an opportunity in front of them, and they will not take on that opportunity because they don't have the twinkle in the eye. And the twinkle in the eye, or the skip in the walk, as the cliche saying states, right? It's like we can tell, true leaders can tell when we see somebody that has a spark in their eyes. And a lot of times these are people that have overcome adversity. So I always state to our community and our true leaders and wealth entrepreneurs and inside investors from our community here at Master Investor that we need to develop ourselves into becoming the type of individuals that can bring the best out of other people, can spot opportunities when chaos is going on, and can walk on line of greatness. And greatness comes literally from working on ourselves every day, putting ourselves first. We should never depend on somebody else's actions for our happiness and for what we are acquiring in our life. So what's the purpose that we have in this life? That's a great question. And if we can find that, at least some of the purposes, we're going to be incredibly ahead of the curve of everyone in the world. A lot of them, about 99% of people in the world, do not accomplish their dreams because they are not working towards their dreams. They forgot to do something that they truly love to do. They give in into something that they didn't want to continue to do for whatever reason, but it's something that they truly love. So maybe you used to play an instrument, or maybe you used to do sports and you haven't done it. Go out there and do it. Pick it up again, right? And do something that is aligned with your passions and many things. It could be 5 different things that we marry to do every single day or every week. We have to focus on our skills and what are our talents. How can we take that to the world? How we can impact the world with a product that we're passionate about, because we have to be dancing to any type of adventure that we have. If it's not that good, then we don't want it, right? If it's not aligned with our passions. I'm not saying that we're not supposed to do the boring things, right? And I talk about that on another video. We have to do the boring things when it comes to building wealth. Learning a little bit about taxes, learning a little bit about the business law, the changes in the law along the way. And we keep it very simple here at Master Investor. When you go through all of our courses and ebooks, you're going to understand why we keep it super simple. It's powerful because it's a complex subject. When we talk about business and investing, because we cannot skip business to talk about investing. Investing is business. You cannot have an investment without business underneath. So it has to always go back to the basics of business. We're going to talk about the principles, the steps that we need to nurture every single day. And no matter how successful we are, we should always keep that momentum going, okay? And enjoy that momentum, use it into our advantage. That's how we expand, that's how we grow into something bigger. It's by the momentum, by doing something that is really making a mark on other people's lives. It's changing people, whether we're doing it directly, indirectly, it doesn't matter. Let's turn everything into gold. And then of course, focus on building assets and acquiring assets. That's why rule number 1 in our community here at Master Investor is that we work to build passive income, or also known as positive cash flow, and we multiply money through sound investing. That's rule number 1. Why? Because that's what the ultra wealthy do. That's what we do when it comes to building wealth. But we need to have financial education. We cannot go into that activity without financial education. Otherwise, It's like driving a car without knowing or being taught how to drive a car. Yeah, you can probably hit the gas, but you might just end up losing control and whatnot. Same thing with investing, right? If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a mentor that can help you navigate and understand their mistakes, that's what mentors are here for, to teach us about their mistakes so that we don't have to commit them and get to our destination faster. Remember, let's be flexible when it comes to our plan, right? It's not about being hard-headed when it comes to building wealth. I see a lot of people making the mistake of being hard-headed. You have to be willing to change and listen to the feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and then keep the eye on the destination. The destination shouldn't change because that's our dream, that's the ideal scene. But we can get there in a different path because maybe you're taking path A and you should be taking path C. Okay, so don't get stuck doing something that doesn't work. You have to figure out quickly whether that's gonna work or not. And usually it tells by the cash flow that's coming in. Is it making you wealthier? Or is it taking money out of your pocket? If you're building a business not making any money, then you're gonna have to shut it down or do something different quickly because it's supposed to make us money right now. Not in 10 years, not in 20 years from now. That's not the investment that we're talking about here. We're talking about creating cash flow today, right now. We need to create XYZ amount per month to break free from the rat race, meaning that whatever the total expenses that we have in our life needs to be covered by assets that we control with our companies. And we mean real assets. We're not talking about businesses that we have to be employee of those businesses. Otherwise, we don't have real businesses. We just own jobs. We want to work on our business, not in our business, which is a big difference. Okay, and we talk about that here all the time because it's critical. A lot of people I see starting businesses and they end up working in their businesses because they want to wear every single hat. They don't want to delegate. They don't want to learn how to use other people's money, using debt to leverage themselves, right? OPM and OPT, other people's time. And of course, having a team with OQP, only quality people. I see so many missing parts of a successful business when people do not figure out that they're missing all of these integrities. And that's what we created the cash flow triangle, which explains the A integrities of a successful business. And I'm gonna give into our community here right now, of course, but inside the ebook, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet Turn Passive Income On, there we will find more in depth of each integrity, explaining in detail how we should implement that into our businesses and brands, because we're not just building commodities, right? Meaning that the way to turn a company into a brand, it has to be done through intrinsic value. We have to do the boring things, which means the legalities. For some people, those are the boring things about business. I'm passionate about. I like this subject of financial education, as we all know. That's why we launched our brand and we created our company, our investment and capital management company. But we are more than that. We have a department of financial education. That's what this is all about. It's about financial literacy. It's about making our community smarter when it comes to money, and not be passive investors, be active investors, which lead us to become an ensign investor, or as we say here, a master investor, right? Which means that we are thriving through passive income or positive cash flow through our businesses. That's how we pay everything in our lives. We don't work for earned income. We don't get paid through a paycheck like majority of people in the world do. Remember, we get cash flow, positive cash flow, because we have X, Y, and Z business or asset working for us through systems, right? We have a system of systems because that is a sound business. It's a system of systems doing the selling and telling for us on autopilot. So here, using online technology like never before, we can have targeted leads coming into our sales funnels that easy with one click. We don't even need to create the ad today. Artificial intelligence target the people or the niche that we're looking for to sell whatever we want to sell. And all we do, set the ad on and watch back how the ad brings us back unlimited leads, leads that turn into real customers that pay us for our services or products. And remember, we want to create products. Get away from services unless you can package that service without you being in there. Meaning that if you don't have to see the client because you have a digital course or you have something in place that replaces you being present at that moment to make the transaction, then that's what we're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck doing something for money. And we want to create true leaders. And it's okay if you have a job, but start a side hustle and then learn how to make money work hard. If you're working already hard for money during the day, then at nighttime, your job is to make sure that your money that you have right now saved up gets put into the right places, starting with financial education, and of course, start investing that money, turning that into passive income. And sometimes we will get capital gains income depending on the asset that we acquire. Some assets will only bring us capital gains income in different asset classes. There are 5 asset classes. So before I give the 5 asset classes, let me go back to giving you the 8 integrities of a successful business. Write this down, okay, because this is a golden nugget right here. So when we build our business, let's start with the mission, right? That's one of the integrities. What is the business solving in the world? What type of problem? And then we focus on our team, right? Leadership is the next thing. And then cash flow. It needs to be built to raise capital from the front end, from the clients. And from the back end, meaning that the business is structured properly with the legalities in order. And that way we can raise capital from the banks, family and friends, private investors, and so forth. People that will give us money because they want to succeed with us in our business. They see that our business is growing tremendously. They can definitely tell by maybe our lifestyle changing, right? And so people will start coming into our lines, giving us their money. Remember, there is money everywhere around us. There's never a lack of money. 2 types of problems when it comes to money. People have the lack of money. Majority of people always lack money because they don't have resources or they don't have other assets but their job. That is not an asset, that's their way to make money. So I always say it's not how much money we make, really, it's how we make the money, and then how much money we keep and how much money we keep working after that. So how much money that we put into assets again, right? Because we want to grab those profits, whatever we get from an investment that succeeded or a business that is succeeding, we want to divert those profits into other assets and different asset classes so that we can protect ourselves from down economies and hedge for inflation by having different asset classes under our control. Different assets and different asset classes, of course. Okay, so 5 asset classes that exist. So let me give you the final 8. So we start mission. These are the 8 integrities: mission, team, leadership, cash flow, communication, system, legal, and product. Okay, so it's not just the product the most important thing. A lot of people say they have the best idea, but having the best idea doesn't just do a successful business that turns into a brand. Make sure that any business that we admire or we see outside, plug those 8 integrities, and you'll see that it has those 8 integrities, and now you can actually see them working in front of us. Any type of business that you go into, it will have the mission, it will have a team, it will have the leadership, it will have cash flow, right? Money's coming in from sales and also from the back end through loans, because we treat debt as money, because we know that money is debt. Debt is money, and we create cash flow with debt, right? We invest debt, and we use debt as much as possible because we know how to do risk management, because we have financial education, so we're not scared of using debt to invest, because we know we're going to get cash flow back, we're going to get profits, and we're going to use those profits to pay for the mortgage, or if it's a loan, right, that we're acquiring for a real estate property, whichever asset class. So it could be a credit card. Now we have to pay the interest, and we have to meet the minimum payment, and we're paying that back with the investment's revenue. And so that debt is good debt because we're not paying for it, the business is paying for it, and on top of that, whatever is left is our positive cash flow, which is money from thin air. And when we use 100% financing, then we start creating cash flow, because whatever is left after all expenses are paid That is our positive cash flow, and it's called infinite return on investment at that point because we have no money of our own invested into the deal, okay? And that's what we want to look for. That's the holy grail of investing, is to have zero money of our own invested into the deal because one, we recoup the entire capital that we initially invested back, or two, we use 100% debt. We got a loan, and we're using that as capital to build the business or acquire an asset. We didn't use any of our capital. Or third, we use a combination of both, which is what we always say here at Master Investor. Have capital, use that capital to raise more money, get a loan, and then now you have double or more. You have a credit line of $100,000 because you show the bank that you had $100,000 in the bank account, and you ask them for a credit line or a credit card. That credit line is money. We can invest in it anywhere, and we're going to make sure that we put it into a real asset that is producing cash flow, and we'll pay the debt service back, and we'll also create infinite return on investment. That's another good term to write down as we become more aware about business words. Remember, the vocabulary that we have determines how wealthy we will become. Words are the most powerful tools humans have ever created. And there are about 500,000 words. That's what they say in the English dictionary. How many do we really know? Think about it. That's why I tell everyone in our community, let's learn a word a day. And that's why I'm explaining new terms and telling whoever's watching, write that down. Because once we have that, we can use it at any given time. We can impress others because of our vocabulary. Others will listen. Leaders will listen to us because we are well read and we are expanding the vocabulary of a wealthy individual. So part of the 500,000 words in the English dictionary, it belongs to the business language. So how do we learn that? Financial education is the only way to find those business words. And that's what we put in together all of our digital courses here at Master Investor. That's why we launch our brand, because we are truly the authentic brand of the world regarding money, business, and investing. Okay, we keep it 100% with the ultra wealthy mindset. Once you have those 8 integrities placed in our businesses, we will see our business begin to grow on autopilot. Remember, if you cannot see yourself out of the business that you're launching very quickly, you cannot just expect that you're going to be working the entire year in your business without never being able to leave the business and make money. If that's the case, and that's not a business, you're just on a job. And maybe it's just a hobby that you need to do just for you. Now, it shouldn't be a brand or a company if it's just for us, right? I see a lot of people doing that. They started a company because they like it. But again, the question is, yes, it would be nice to find a product or a niche that we enjoy. That's the holy grail, right? To be aligned with our passions. That's why one of the things that I said earlier on the video is like, let's find out what are our passions, right? It's not just one passion. That paralyzes people. When you say, what is your passion? We have many passions. So what we have to do is like, okay, what are my favorite passions? Can I find a product that I'm passionate about to solve, to bring into the marketplace a problem and a product to solve that problem? We have to find a need and then fill it with a product and a system of systems. It's not just a product. We have to have now the marketing plan. We have to have a company. We need to incorporate. We want to be active investors, not passive investors. Remember, passive investors give their money away to other people. They are gamblers and are really investors. They're traders because they have no control over what is going on with their cash flow. They have zero understanding of how to invest. That's why they're giving their money away to others that are not even financial investors. There are salespeople that make money with the investors or passive investors' money by having it invested in the market. But they don't care if the investor loses their money. And they don't care if they're not making any money every single month. So you may look rich on paper. The investor might, it's going up, the stock. But if we're not receiving any capital right now, then it's not an asset. We cannot call it an asset just because it looks like it's going up in value, but if it's not putting us cash flow, then it's not really an asset yet. Onto that business puts money into our pocket without us working, then we can call it an asset. So a lot of people calling their biggest debt, which is their house, an asset, and it's not an asset, because my first question is like, who's paying for the mortgage? And they'll be like, oh, they're paying, and they're working hard at this job, they're working the corporate ladder, or they have their doctors or lawyers or professional, and they have they have their own practice, but they still have to show up. Who's waking up in the morning? They are. So it doesn't matter if the value of the property is going up since you acquire it. And remember, they act like it's their house, but if they have a mortgage, it's not their house. They have the biggest debt, and that's why they call it their house, because or the investment, because they have a debt against that, which is a mortgage. But what they don't understand, because they haven't studied financial education, if they knew this, then they would think about whether they want to actually do that. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to be in that position, because in many times we can turn that into an asset with financial education. We can make money by renting it through Airbnb if they actually got a good property in the right location where there are tourists. So they can actually make that property pay for itself, pay the mortgage, and even bring them extra cash flow to get 3 more houses, right? It could be bringing 3 times as much as the mortgage. In some instances, even more when we do it through Airbnb. But my point is, what we want to do is have the sparkle in our eye. We want to be those true leaders, that we have that jump on our walk, right? And we have read good data, the right data. We're putting information in our ears that are information that is helping us ultimately reach our dreams and goals. So we're walking on purpose. People can feel our aura, because they can see that we are devoted to our dreams and what we enjoy doing ultimately, right? Because we walk into the path that will give us financial freedom, so that we have the time to devote to our passions, even if those passions have nothing to do with our businesses. That's why I say maybe we can find a business that is aligned with our passions. That's even better, because we're doing something that we love and we're helping people along the way and so forth. So that is always a good thing. But if we find a niche that is not really big to grow and make money and become financially free and keep that going, then we shouldn't waste time. We should create something else that it will grow, so that we can do the things that we like to do, right? Because you want a business that grows automatically, and the only way that is going to happen is by having the right systems, having the right marketing plan behind it, of course, and having a product that is in high demand, not just in a small group of people. We want to be able to leverage other customers around the world. We want to be able to use other networks and other people, other cultures, to present our products and expand. Think about big brands like Coca-Cola, Nike, right? Apple, Master Investor, so many, Facebook, Instagram. All of these are great brands and companies, right? But they turn into a brand because we are unique and we have something that is protected through intrinsic value. We have the legalities in order. The boring things, we did them from the get-go. So we treat our small business like a big business, so we don't miss any steps. We keep the legalities in order. We're actually making more money by doing that, even though it might seem that we need to invest at the beginning to get those things done. Maybe we need an attorney, we need to have a bookkeeper, a CPA, and have the right tax strategy. But at the end of the day, it's gonna make us much more money. It's gonna reduce our taxes all the way to zero in many instances, because we're using the laws. We have the right CPA, navigating the right way to utilize the tax code and to our advantage, because we understand that the tax code and the corporate laws are a package of incentives for wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors. And inside investors are those who become a master investor, right? It is the path to true wealth. So the point is, let's not give in. The only thing, or the only things that we should give in, is things that are slowing us down, right? Also give in to good sense, good control. If we find a mentor, if you found this video and is doing something to you that is positive, is changing the perspective, it sparks something inside you. That's the purpose of it. Then that means this is aligned, this is good sense, it's breaking good sense. So that activity, you should give in into that. Click the link somewhere in the description of this video, join our inner circle, thank me later, invest in financial education. That's the first step. And then from there, you can get other mentors as well. If you already have other mentors, let me mentor you in what we're doing here so that you can also carry that master investor inside of you forever. We all have an investor inside of us. We have to deal with money regardless of how we're doing with it. We all have a financial statement, a personal financial statement. And every business and investment also has a financial statement. The ability to read financial statements and improving them is a foundation of true wealth. So that's why inside of our digital course, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, we have an asset that is a blank financial statement that is prepared to be downloaded into Excel, and we have to fill it in with our numbers. We will find that there are 6 important words that describes a financial statement, okay? And those are income, right? What is our income? How do we make our money? It's gonna tell us that. Expenses, all of our expenses, whether good or bad. Assets, all of our assets that we have that are actually making us money today, right? It's putting money into our pocket. We don't have to work for that money. The business or investment is putting us cash flow or capital gains into our pocket. Then we can call it an asset. And then it's gonna show all of our liabilities. And then we have the next 2 words, cash flow. We're going to see how the cash flow flows. And where is it flowing? Is it flowing into our pocket, or is it flowing always out of our pocket into somebody else's asset column? Because remember, all of our expenses and liabilities, or at least liabilities, are somebody else's assets in their asset column. Okay, so that's why I said earlier, maybe people have a home right now, but let's not feel bad about you're making that investment, because that home could be the gold mine that will set you and your family free from ever working again. It starts with one greenhouse. So just get financial education and start researching how to do the Airbnb or whatever operation is going to bring in the cash flow, right? So let's be creative. Let's look at the financial statement. Let's figure out if any of our liabilities that we have now, we can turn them into assets. If you have 5 cars, maybe you can rent 2 of them out, right? And now those cars bring in the money to pay for all the cars. Now you're driving for free. And then also it's leaving you cash flow at the end of the month, and you're paying somebody to clean the cars and take care of the maintenance and whatnot. So you're not even involved in any of it. All you're doing is using what you had as liabilities, turn them into an assets, and now you're getting all this money, and you can get really the car that you want, your dream car, because you're not paying for it. The car business is paying for it. And it starts with 1 car. So let's be resourceful when it comes. Let's become a master at being resourcefulness, right? Having that ability to be creative and use everything that we have. Let's stop complaining, because the one thing that we all have in common is the access of information like never before. Back in the day, only the kings and queens, literally, and the top people in the world, the elite, the ultra wealthy, had the access of the information. We have never seen this in the history of humankind, right? Having access to the information at the same time everywhere around the world, that opens the floodgates to creating true wealth and experiencing total freedom in this lifetime. But we need to be able to not give in and be flexible. We have to be able to tweak whatever needs to be improved. Take constructive criticism. Oftentimes the bad feedback or the negative feedback is what's going to help us become better. Have the right mentors. Invest in mentors. That's the only shortcut that we have in life, is by learning from other people that have been there already and can help us throughout the way without dictating what we're doing, because we're true leaders. Everybody's life is different, and what we do with our life and our skills, that's up to us at the end of the day. So let's bring magic into the world. This channel is to create true leaders, to inspire wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors. And if you're already having success, then this is also for you, because then we are at the right frequency, true leaders. And as we know, true leaders help each other. So go ahead and give a like, comment, share this with other people, and make sure that we can grow to the people that we want to be. Let's not live somebody else's dreams. Make sure that you write down all of our dreams. We have to write more. Okay? Keep a notepad close to us at all time. And make sure that if we wake up in the middle of the night and we think of something, let's write it down. Usually people have their phone. Put a note down and write that idea down, okay? Because sometimes we have those visions and they come, we need to capture them. And it's really good when we put it on paper. The more we put down on paper, the more we manifest and the more we achieve our dreams. And it's all about networks. It's all about expanding. It's all about bringing value. People can also read other people if they are aware. So let's not underestimate anybody. Other people can underestimate us. But we are going to make sure that we continue to control our destiny, because we are focused on it and we're not giving in no matter our adversity. And if you're listening and you maybe have some trauma before, work on that. Confront it. Turn it into an experience almost, like don't let it affect, because now you confronted it. It's not what is, it doesn't determine, that does not determine who you're going to be in the future or moving forward from this moment. So we have to act like the person we want to be. We have to deeply imagine, not just the thing that we want, but we have to be in that. We have to picture us being in that activity. So we have to do our work, but we also have to execute. We cannot sit there and just think of this ideal scene. We have to also get to work in the reality and begin to attract. It's not working for the money at all. And if you're working at a job that you don't like, make sure you do a great job and find a way out. But it's important that we are grateful for what we have now in order to pull in the new things that we would like to have. Okay? So read a book a day. Doesn't have to be the whole book. Read 2 chapters, 4 chapters, right? Or even 1 chapter. Sometimes I read 1 chapter and that's all I need from a book, and I'll come back later. But read something every day. Don't be lazy with how smart we can become. Don't be lazy with our education, specifically financial education. I always say, without financial education, the people will be slaves to money for the rest of their life. Money will dictate their decisions, when they go to break, when they show up to work, when they take a vacation. Master money. And it takes financial education. It starts small. Okay? Small steps lead us to big things. And today, with the technology that we have, easier than ever, but also we have bad information. We have to be careful. We have to learn how to tell between an asset and liability, right? Is this information going to add into my life, into our goals, into our financial goals? Or is it going to take from us? Is it the right path? Question ourselves all the time and make sure that we're following the right mentors. It's critical that we understand how important it is to have the right people talking to us and giving us their advice and showing us their way and kind of inspire us to become the next us, the next level of us. It's all about improving every day. We'll be surprised how we can see these gains. A lot of people are like, well, we don't see anything happen. No, trust me, everything is happening. Everything is changing as we move through time. So if we can align all of our decisions into what we're supposed to be doing, our purpose in life, our nurturing, our connections that matter, working on our health, because we're more able when we're healthier. We can be more clear, have clarity when we do things. So the message is, don't give in. Keep working. And if we love it enough, we will persevere through the hard times. Adversity builds the best character. It really shows us who we really are at the end of the day. How we handle that adversity and how we respond to it is what dictates where we will be in the future. So just be cautious how we respond to things all the time. One of the key characteristics of a master investor, as we will learn inside of our digital book, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, Turn Passive Income On, is to control our emotions. So I'm not saying to be a pushover or let other people bully us, not at all. That's not what a true leader is. But we pick and choose our fights and make sure we fight with honor. Make sure we go with the truth, with facts. That's why it's important to always stand on facts. And something we practice here is that when we have a business conversation, we write things down, we send an email, we follow up with a text. This is what we talked about. That way, it gives the other party or the other parties involved a moment to say, oh, we also talked about this, or no, that's not right, we didn't say that, or, and then that way the facts are put down and we're covering ourselves at all times. Trust me, when we do that, is a game changer. I've been doing that for years and it changed my life. Something that I want to share with everyone here in our community because not many people do it. Write things down, cover ourselves, put the facts down, always go with the facts. Same thing in investing, right? We say know the difference between opinions and facts. How do we know that? Well, because we can see the financial statement, we can read it, we understand it, we hear all the sales pitch, but we're looking at the numbers, and the numbers do not lie. In good deals, the numbers work, and bad deals, the numbers do not work. But it doesn't mean that it's always a bad thing when we find a mismanaged business, because a lot of times we will acquire a mismanaged business that is in the negative because we can improve it. That's what I said earlier in the video, that the foundation of true wealth is found in the ability to read financial statements and improving them, starting with our personal financial statement. Go get our ebook, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, Turn Passive Income On. If you like what you're hearing, if you learned something new, please let me know in the comments section. Ask a question if you have one. I'm going to come back and we're going to answer. We're going to have a dialogue on anything regarding this video, okay? Money, business, and invest. And welcome to Master Investor, a true community on building true leaders and inside investors. And of course, wealthy entrepreneurs, right? Because a wealthy entrepreneur is someone that masters how to raise capital from the front end of a business and from the back end. We build a business to have what? Intrinsic value, because it's going to be turned into a brand, meaning that it's something is unique. Whatever we do that is unique, the product is protected, it's patent. We have the logo registered, trademark, and that is what brings a company to become a brand, because no one else can take what we're doing. None of our competitors. And then we have business integrity, which means that the business is making money, was built to make money. It's profitable because it's solving a problem in the world on autopilot for us. And I like to put, if we have an idea to start business, put it through the eye of the needle test, as I like to say. So we all know that any needle, or at least needles that are used to sew clothes, they have a hole where a string will go through the needle to be attached, and usually will have a knot in there, so you can start sewing the piece of clothing or material that the person is going to do. And that eye of the needle, we need to push our idea through that. And if we can push our idea through that without us going through it, because we do not fit in it, the idea has to go through the eye of the needle. So let's hold the eye of the needle, an imaginary eye of the needle in our hand, and we push our idea through that. And the idea has to come through the other side without us being in there, right? Because we're just pushing the idea. The idea has to go through the eye of the needle, because right now it's just an idea, so we can push it through. And if it comes out on the other side, it can be a business without us being present, then we should get to work on that and bring that into reality. because then that is a true business. It's going to work without us being in there. It's like Coca-Cola. When the founder of Coca-Cola or any other founder, like Apple, the founder of Apple died, the company keeps going. It's a true brand. That's the difference. Commodities will come and go, meaning companies are replaceable because they don't have the legalities in order. That's why it's important to have financial education, because when we have financial education, then we can actually understand how to build a successful portfolio. We're not just trading, we're not just gambling when it comes to investing, we're actually getting paid through passive income and capital gains income, but specifically we live through passive income, or also known as positive cash flow, which comes from the businesses and investments that we control with our entities. Now, how do we measure wealth? Wealth is measured in time, not just money, okay? It's about how long can we go without working and be able to still live the lifestyle that we like to have without shrinking, actually expanding and always living above our means. And how long can we go without worrying about running out of money, because we have businesses that are paying us positive cash flow, and that is going to be in our lives for the next 100 years or 50 years. How many years can we go without working? That's how wealth is measured, isn't the time that we can go without working and being able to still pay for our bills without having a job. Okay? So figure out how wealthy we are. It's a simple exercise. And what do we need to create more wealth? I call them freedom units, assets that produce positive cash flow, or also known as passive income now. No in 10 years from now, no in 20 years from now, no in a year from now. It has to make us money now. If it's not making us money now, then we can't call it an asset or a real business. So make sure that we're labeling assets what are really truly an asset, right? We cannot label something that is a liability that's taking money out of our pocket, but it might look good on paper, but it's just withdraw money out of our pocket every month. We cannot call that an asset at all. That would be the wrong labeling of that activity. And a lot of people do that, and that's why they are in the poor class or in the middle class, because they don't know the difference between an asset and liability. So start with that. Focus on our passions. Figure out if there's a product that we can bring into the world, if there's a problem that we're passionate about solving, and hopefully it's aligned with our passions. And we need to find a system of systems. We need to incorporate. Sometimes we don't need to incorporate to begin to create cash flow. We can tag along with other companies. There are a lot of companies out there that will give us a percentage for bringing in a sale into their company. And it could be a subscription product. So all we have to do is the marketing. We don't need to show up our face or anything. We can actually just do ads and run those ads. And as long as they bring in 10, 20 people to buy that every single day. And a lot of times they just pay us also for people that visit the website. They just click on the ad and they visit the website. So just imagine sitting back at home and enjoying having unlimited commissions coming in the form of passive income, because we have ads and you didn't incorporate it. You're creating cash flow. You're creating your path to getting out of the rat race, if that's the case. Or maybe you want to create extra income so eventually you can come out of that job that you love. And it's okay, because at some point maybe you don't want to continue working there at your job. Maybe you're self-employed. Now the cash flow circle, we're also going to learn about the 4 players that exist when it comes to money, right? We talk about it inside of the cash flow circle. Inside of our ebook, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, we'll find a chapter dedicated to the cash flow circle. Let's divide a circle in 2. On the left side, we'll have the employee and self-employed. On the right side, we have the business owner and inside investor. On the right side is where wealth is created. On the left side is where people work for money, active income, earned income, or ordinary income. That is taxed at the highest bracket, okay? So we can move to the right side of the cash flow circle, and a person can be all players at the same time, okay, successfully. Now, we create freedom on the right side. Total freedom is on the right side. That's why wealth entrepreneurs and financial investors do what we do, because we work on building financial freedom through having assets that are producing passive income. So we want to focus on acquiring that. We want to make sure that our time is dedicated to financial education, and we are improving our financial statements by looking at it every day and saying, okay, now it's time to get another asset because we have this liability and it's costing us this much. We have to get an asset to pay for that liability. That way everything is free in our lives. You see, a wealthy entrepreneur and a master investor always know how to get everything for free legally and ethically, because we have businesses that are paying for everything that we do. So let's measure how wealthy we are today by whatever resources we have, and then let's start building more wealth, meaning that we have more time. Remember, it's all about having freedom, having the ability to decide what we want to do with our time. No one else is waiting on us. No, we're not dependent on somebody else. We're making our schedule every single day, and everything that is happening every second of our lives, we have control, because we decided to do it, because we don't depend on a job. We don't make active income on the left side of the cash flow circle. That's what people do. And they have a certain language for that. They look for benefits, a secure job, something that can put money on the table for the next 20-some years. That's their dream, to have a job, to have something that will create that for them. And so it's the mindset that they need to change first, so that they can start thinking, you know what, actually having a business is a lot less riskier than having a job, because a job you can get fired any time, and you can't sell your 25 years or 20 years that the person that gave to that company. But however, if it's something that you truly love, then it's okay, because you're there to also learn. It's not just earning, it's about learning. Okay? And make sure that we go visit our website, get inside of our inner circle, and ensure that we are building financial education in our minds every day. Meaning that we're acquiring financial education, we're building our memory with financial education. Okay? Because the more we talk about money, the wealthier we will become. And network, go out there and talk to strangers. Have a good attitude. Be generous. The more generous we become, the wealthier we become. The more we give, the more we should receive. It doesn't mean that we have to give our energy to everybody. Think about products that we can give to the world and solve that problem successfully, and make sure that we create a true brand. It's not just a company, something that doesn't have the legalities in order. People have a lot of companies, they don't have true brands. True brands is a company that is properly built with the structure. It has chosen the right entity for what it does. It's minimizing taxes. It has the right team behind it, and is protected with the right legalities. Okay? So let's treat our small business like a big business, and our big business like a small business, so that we don't ever jeopardize on any of the 8 integrities that we talked about earlier that makes a successful business, which are mission, team, leadership, cash flow, communications, systems, legal, and product. I hope that this extraordinary video has put some sense in regards to money, business, and investing, and how to create true wealth. Let me know what you think. I appreciate your time very much. Thank you for investing in yourself and financial education, because that is the best thing we can do. No one can take that away from us. Once we start investing in us and we work on building our momentum when it comes to passive income, we will reach financial freedom and experience total freedom. We can begin to build true wealth and make sure that we are acquiring the right types of assets in different asset classes. Let's not just diversify in one asset class, because that's not how we protect ourselves from down economies and hedge for inflation, nor is how we build true wealth. True wealth is built by having different assets that are sound, meaning that are producing positive cash flow and sometimes capital gains income into our pocket in different asset classes. The 5 asset classes: number 1, business; number 2, real estate; number 3, crypto; number 4, paper assets; and number 5, commodities. Those are the 5 asset classes that we can invest in for passive income first, specifically for passive income. And some of them will bring us capital gains income, some assets in different asset classes, because that's all they bring us. Okay, but first we're going to focus on acquiring assets that produce passive income, or also known as positive cash flow. Okay, because that is what's going to give us the title financially, or being financially free, or having financial freedom. Is that our first best stop, is where we want to be if you're coming out of a job, if you want to maybe create more income, but not by working hard. That's the first thing. Match whatever the expenses are right now in your life. We have to acquire an asset or more than one asset that will create that amount and more. And then we can break free from the rat race and begin to build true wealth if the person is found in that situation. Now, if you have a job, or maybe you already have a business, maybe you have a job that you love, then you can build a side income. And when you're ready to leave your job, at least you'll have an income that will replace that working job. And that way you don't have to shrink the lifestyle. You don't have to slow down. You don't have to live below your means. You can actually expand. Life is all about ongoing growth. If you're shrinking, then we're not walking on purpose. So let's get the twinkle in our eye. Let's get that fire in us. Let's get that skip on our walk, because we are prepared for any type of economy. We have financial education. We're well read. We're making new relationships, right? We're working on our communication skills. We're learning how to use persuasion in a good way, how to lead people to greatness, and how to express ourselves so that we inspire the world. Bring you the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in all economies. Thank you for having me once again. Subscribe to the channel. Click the link somewhere in the description. Get our ebooks, how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, how to invest in crypto to build wealth, and how to, in the 10 new rules of money. And of course, we're releasing our 4th ebook very soon, how to raise capital to build wealth. All right, stay extraordinary and wealthy. Thank you again. See you next time. Bye for now.